The Elder Scrolls universe is huge. It's insanely huge, and there's a massive list of events that happen on its incredibly long timeline, a timeline that spans thousands of years, not to mention all the stuff that happens before time is even created. It's unfortunate that most mortals will live to their 80s, 90s, even 200 or 300 years old if they're an elf, as they won't or didn't get to experience most of these events. But there are some exceptions in the Elder Scrolls universe. People have been able to expand their lifespan through magic, necromancy, vampirism, or various other explanations. Perhaps they're just too damn badass to die at the tender old age of 80. Well, today you and I are going to explore the oldest living mortals that exist in the Elder Scrolls universe. Let's start by saying we can't actually determine the oldest living mortals for sure, as there will always be new additions to the Elder Scrolls, new characters that we haven't met yet, but you and I will be going through the ones that we can confirm. There are basically three prime contenders. I guess it depends on how you actually see the definition of mortal, but for the sake of this discussion, we are going to exclude things that give you an undead status, like being a lich or a vampire. You are no longer mortal. For starters, at the time of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, there was a Telvanni wizard named Dyvaith Fear, who is over 4,000 years old. He even lived as a Chimer before Azura cursed their race and turned them all into the Dunmer, the Dark Elves. This ability to live for so long, well past the average lifespan of an elf, is most likely due to his powerful magic. I mean, this guy even has female clones of himself that he calls his daughters, so the extent of his magical prowess is far-reaching, and it makes sense that he could prolong his life with it. But even though he was the longest living mortal that we met in an Elder Scrolls game, it is said that there are Altmer in the Somerset Isles who have lived longer than him, but none of that is confirmed. So Dyvaith Fear held the trophy for a while, until Skyrim came along with two DLC, Dragonborn and Dawnguard. In the Dragonborn DLC, the main antagonist, Miraak, was the first Dragonborn, a dragon priest who rebelled against his dragon masters and was defeated by another dragon priest named Valok. However, Miraak hid away in Hermaeus Mora's realm of Apocrypha for thousands of years, right up to the events of Skyrim in the 4th era, year 201. If you have a look at the timeline, the Dragon Wars and the time of the Dragon Cult date back well past the turning of the Chimer into the Dunmer and even the Chimer exodus from the Somerset Isles, meaning that Miraak is definitely much older than the Telvanni Dyvaith Fear, though it is unclear exactly how he has lived this long. Perhaps through his powers as Dragonborn or through the secrets of Apocrypha. Either way, at least in my opinion, I would still consider Miraak to be mortal. So by that standard, we have the oldest mortal being born way back in the Merethic era during the time of the Dragon Cults. But who could possibly predate this? During your time playing the Dawnguard DLC, you will at one point have to embark on a journey to find Auriel's bow. On your way here, you will find a living snow elf, Knight Paladin Gelabor. We cannot determine his exact age, but from dialogue we can ascertain that this mortal snow elf was born and lived during the height of snow elf civilization, which dates back before the arrival of Ysgramor in Skyrim. And we know that the dragon cults weren't around until after Ysgramor settled, and we know that the Chimer exodus happened after that, so it would seem that Knight Paladin Gelabor, faithful servant of Auriel, has in fact lived since before the Atmorans even came to Skyrim. It is also unclear as to how he lived this long. Snow elf lifespans could have been everlasting, though this is unlikely. Perhaps it was the protection from Auriel, but as far as I'm concerned, he appears to be mortal. Hence, he wins the prize of longest living mortal in Tamriel. Knight Paladin Gelabor, as far as we know, is the oldest mortal we have ever met in the Elder Scrolls. So how do you think it is that these mortals managed to outlast their lifespans for so long? Tell us down below in the comments. We would really love to see some cool, crazy theories circling about. Subscribe for more videos like this. Our social media links are in the description, particularly Twitter, where you can continue the conversation with us. I'm Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I will see you next time.